My opponent, Abigail, ran as a moderate. If she governs as one, then she will unite us and she'll heal our divide and win our support. I hope and pray she does. But all should note, I don't consider this a loss because remember, I've always said this, I'm a Christian first and a Republican second, and that's the way it always will be, because no political party has ever given their life for me. So your voice isn't lost, and I'm not going anywhere, and neither are you. Virginia is not a radical leftist state, and we will hold to account anyone who tries to impose on us the ideology of the left.
Virginia, you guys really dropped the ball. You guys really had a good one. You had a solid one. She doesn't have to be the perfect mega candidate, but she was sensible. She was rational. She brought conservative values. She was getting ready to protect young girls. This is the one you wanted. Well, Abigail Spanberger just became the first female governor of Virginia. And of course, she has to thank this gentleman behind me, the biggest hypocrite of all time, Barack Hussein Obama.
Virginia's elections are some of the most important in the country this year, and I am proud to endorse Abigail Spanberger for governor. Republican policies are raising costs on working families so billionaires can get massive tax cuts. As governor, Abigail will stand up for Virginia families. She'll work to build an economy that works for everyone, not just big corporations and the wealthy. But it won't happen without you. Every vote counts, so turn out and vote for Abigail Spanberger for governor on November 4th.
The problem I have with Barack Obama is when Kamala Harris was running for president, he shamed black men. Black men need to get out and support Kamala Harris. But all the while, Abigail Spanberger is running against a black woman who could have been the first black female governor of Virginia. He didn't support her, but he wanted us to support Kamala Harris.
Communities is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Say to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in life.
And there you have it, the hypocrisy of Mr. Hussein Obama. He didn't support the black candidate. Again, I don't subscribe to this whole racial identity thing, but these are the rules of his game. He laid down the rules, he laid down the foundation, and when the time came, he didn't even follow it. Why? Because she's a black conservative woman. It doesn't fit with their globalist agenda, and liberals, of course, are the useful idiots. But let's see, why did Barack Obama support Miss Abigail? Well, of course, for starters, she voted no on the Lincoln-Riley Act. She voted no for the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act. She co-sponsored a bill that would have ended the right to work nationwide. She's in favor of assisted suicide. She opposes voter ID laws. We understand Democrats rely on lax voter laws in order for them to win and seize opportunity. She said she would not stop schools from allowing biological males into girls' spaces, locker rooms, bathrooms, etc. And of course, she vowed to overturn Youngkin's immigration bill day one. What does that mean? Virginia, you're next. You're getting ready to become the next New York City, next Minneapolis, next Chicago, flooded with illegal immigrants. They're going to empty out all of your city and state budgets supporting illegal immigrants. And when it comes to Americans, they'll be like, oh, well, our budgets, our wells have run dry. We have nothing left for you guys. She also supports dangerous criminal justice reforms like getting rid of mandatory minimums, giving them any left-wing VA judges full discretion over sentencing. So what does that mean? A lot of our violent criminals will be sent back into the streets. And you have to understand their end goal before you understand a lot of the tactics that they're implementing, is because in order to destabilize our country, we need lawlessness. So we need a lot of immigrants flooding into our cities. We need all the criminals on the streets. We need all those who have any type of mental issue to be led back onto the streets. And of course, that will result in chaos, the destabilization of our many great cities, then our states, and inevitably our country. Well, there you have it, Virginia. It's gonna be tough for you guys. And a lot of you guys are gonna flee the states. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna try to flee your state. A lot of New Yorkers who, of course, elected Mamdani as mayor, they're gonna try to flee New York, and you're gonna try to come down south. But I just want you to understand what you guys voted for. So abortion on demand, Abigail Spanberger voted yes. Protect girls' sports, that was Winsome's position. Abigail voted no. Allow parents to choose the best school for their children. She voted no. Voter photo ID in order to, of course, increase the integrity of our voting processes. Abigail Spanberger voted no. Winsome voted yes. Late-term abortion. Abigail Spanberger, yes. Winsome, no. And Parents' Bill of Rights for Education. Abigail Spanberger, no. And of course, they want to control your children. So the whole late-term abortion thing is insane, and I think it's going to, of course, evolve. This is a side note. I remember probably, like 15 years ago back in college, I sound old now. Me and my friends are sitting around, and I read this article on these neurosurgeons in Australia making an argument for post-birth abortion. And they argued that because, this sounds insane. They argued that because infants cannot prove their existence, i.e., I think, therefore I am. They can't prove that they think. They can't prove cognitive function, that they're not technically human. I still remember that argument. That was like 15 years ago, and I read it and I shared it with my friends. I was like, could you believe someone's making such an insane argument in terms of abortion? We were all already against abortion then, but we all agree like that never happened. That would never happen. So late-term abortion, we're getting one step closer to people making the argument for post-birth abortion. And I still don't think it's far-fetched. I never thought we would approve late-term abortion first and foremost. But here we are. We have liberals, of course, advocating for the most barbaric of things in our society, absolutely demonic. And I believe that we're one step away from actually having legitimate arguments on whether or not we should have post-birth abortions. Would a liberal make that argument? I believe they will. But that's a discussion for another day. Once Obama got involved, I knew something was going to happen, and I figured votes for her would increase, and of course they did. So here we are. You guys leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe, and remember, Christ is King, no matter what. Christ is King. Deuces.